number 2.
There you go. It's all love. That's where we are today.
Super excited.
That's right.
I had this whole plan to kick it off with the little beasties. I was on the wrong account. Good morning, Noel.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Wednesday, May 12th. Again, we kicked off a little bit late. I'm Molly Townsend, your host. I get to have the privilege and the honor of being with Team Carte Blanche this morning to talk about what's going on in Brooklyn and Queens.
Yeah.
All right. So, Noel, we're going to kick it off with you. Patch.com is reporting that there has been yet another pause in the Gowanus rezoning
Yes.
drama.
Surprise, surprise. Another pause and another rezoning meeting. So it looks like the judge is asking that the city and the community get on the same page regarding meeting in person. So there was a plan to get the community's feedback regarding the zoning through Zoom. But now that the city is doing a little bit better with COVID, they're asking that they meet in person, which is the regular way of going about the rezoning process. So very interesting. Real estate is definitely keeping an eye on this because it's going to impact us. The rezoning should bring about 3,000 jobs to the neighborhood, but also 3,800 apartments. Now the locals, the residents, the community is wondering, is the infrastructure there to sustain this, to be able to bring this amount of traffic into the neighborhood? Also, they're wanting that the canal gets cleaned up. And lastly, they're requesting that the NYCHA projects over on Wyckoff and also Gowanus houses get a little bit of funding as well. So we shall see. I think there's opportunity for both sides to get what they want.
Yeah. I heard the plan is to congregate in person in JJ Byrne, which should be quite a scene, right? Everyone in that park.
Let's see.
Doing their civic duty. Aaron, what's going on with Brooklyn luxury contracts this week?
Yeah, so look, the market is still pumping. So last week there were 41 contracts signed, not surprisingly led by townhouses. There were 28 contracts signed, and condos there were 13. What's interesting is that condos actually outpaced on price. So average price was 2.98 for condos, and townhouses were 2.95. Now, obviously, I think that was a bit of that glorious penthouse in Williamsburg that was last listed at 5.4 million with the sick 3,800 square foot wraparound terrace. So, I mean, there you have it. So I think that obviously impacted the price, but still important nonetheless. I think that it just really shows that things are moving and at that pace. But I will say a little caveat that I think we should keep an eye on. It's a very small data point because, yes, it's very busy. But last week was the first time that the streak was broken. So we were running like 4 weeks in a row, 5 weeks in a row, where contract volume was increasing week over week. So the week prior was 124.8 million. This past week was 120.7. It's only a differential of about 4 million, but I do think it's kind of something to keep an eye on just to see, is that something, because on the ground, we are absolutely busy. But we were insanely busy before. So I'm curious to see, does busy translate to something different down the road? So, yeah.
Interesting. Thanks, Aaron. What's going on with inventory, Noel? Everyone's talking about how there's no inventory, particularly in Brooklyn. What are you seeing, and what is the market data telling us?
Yeah, so I think we definitely, the market will definitely welcome any inventory. But according to Urban Digs, that the report came out on Monday, currently right now we're about 3,319 units on the market at the moment. That's about 4.4 increase from last month. But we also have 3,283 that went into contract. Now that's a 13.5 bump month over month. Now, to get a little bit more micro week by week, we have 326 apartments came into the market last week, which is a little bit of a dip. But then we had 278 units going into contract, which is an 18% bump week over week. So we're almost getting at 300 contracts per week, which is astounding. But, you know, it also shows, again, we are in the spring market, so we always see a little bit of an uptick of inventory coming in. But the rate is going right now, anything that's coming up is going to get absorbed.
Yeah. You guys have a special message for Brooklyn homeowners this morning?
Yes. anyone that's thinking about selling, remotely thought about selling, maybe I'll list in the fall. Next year is our timeline. You might want to think about selling now. I don't want to put the blanket statement because everyone needs to look individually at their situation, but you absolutely at minimum should be exploring selling right now because it's clear that the demand is there. I have a key stat to that as well that I'd love to share, which is days on market. So in that 2 million plus sector that I just talked about earlier, days on market, a couple weeks back, there were 225 days on market for those properties. Last week was 110 days on market average. And if you look at co-ops and you start to get into 500,000, 700, a million, you have 40 days for co-ops, 49 days for condos, and 50 odd days for townhouses. So if you flash back historically, 2016, the same time of year, 17, 18, you were at 30 days on market. We're approaching that quickly. So that tells you sellers that things are moving. So of course, there's things you need to do right and consult with your agent, but absolutely, this is a time right now to have that conversation.
Awesome. And you got a team here, a team carte blanche, take care of all your needs. Theresa, let's not forget about Queens. What's happening in Queens?
Yes, the Queen of Queen is here.
The Queen of Queens.
Sorry.
So on the sales side of things, year over year, we have seen just inventory just stay steady month over month. And let's look at March of 2021 to April of 2021. The demand has gone up by 25%.
Wow.
And again, the reason for this, Queens is great. I'm a Queens girl, so I'm going to, take all my clients over there. But we are seeing people do want more outdoor space. They want more square footage. They want that bonus office space. And again, looking at all of this, we have seen an increase in the median price of 7%.
Wow. Theresa, can you give us a little snapshot of what's going on with rentals in Queens?
Of course, I also love rentals in Queens. So I predominantly service the Northwest Queens area, which is Long Island City, Astoria, and Sunnyside. It's always sunny on the sunny side. And again, if we look over the last year, the median price were much lower than what they were in 2018 and in 2019. However, leases signed in 2021 has increased. So what does that mean? If you are looking to rent in Northwest Queens, now is the time to rent.
Now or never. Everyone's rushing to get back.
Yeah. And I will even go as far as saying, in terms of, so the inventory is up, the prices are down. Also for Queens, concessions are being offered, which is very rare. So because you have a lot of smaller mom and pop places, and I'll use one of my clients for an example, and one of the listings that we had. It was a 3-bedroom in Astoria, right off of Dipmoor's, prime location, 5 minutes away from the train. That property would normally rent for $3,000. The way that we listed it was $2,600, 1 month free, plus no broker's fee. It has outdoor space, laundry in the unit, and it got snatched up within 8 days of being on the market.
Wow.
Wow.
Nicely done.
That's a deal.
You know how to price it.
I try.
Let's talk about what's going on around town for those who are not in the know. Tell us what you're excited about. Noel, let's start with you.
A couple things, little weekends I like to enjoy since we work crazy over the week. So what's happening this week? The city is some city-ran agencies or clinics that are doing the COVID vaccines are also having jazz music being a little bit of a concert being going on. So get a concert, get a shot. Second, I'm checking out the Cause exposition over at Brooklyn Museum. And then they're there till September, but the tickets are going quick. So I highly recommend checking those out. And then lastly, I'll wrap it up to go into my friend's new restaurant over at 111 Court Street. He just opened up Brain Food. Highly recommend checking it out. So I'm heading over there over this weekend as well.
What's special about Brain Food?
So it started off in Best Eye in an area of, it's considered a food desert, bringing healthy food to a neighborhood that really didn't have it at an affordable price. So now he's bringing it to over on Court and Atlantic, which is a little busier, a lot more foot traffic, a lot more commercially driven. But he's bringing the same food, healthy, quality smoothies, meal prep, 4 for $20. By the way, he did not pay me to say this, but it's just a good deal. I have to say it. So shout out to Brain Food.
Nice.
I was about to tell
that.
our audience that Noel is available for endorsements.
Right.
If you're in need, just call his manager.
Yeah.
I manage him.
Low PC.
That's right.
Aaron, what are you excited about?
I am an avid reader. So for all my bookworms out there, I am super excited that the Brooklyn Public Library is reopened. There are 13 out of 60 that are reopened. Let's focus on the Central Library that's at Grand Army Plaza. They are undergoing a 5-year renovation. Phase 1 was just completed. It's $60 million, number of interiors, infrastructure, new elevators. There's things that are going to roll out in the future, like teen collections, adult learning centers, but super excited. And really the goal of this whole renovation was just really to recapture some space that was cut off from the public or that was kind of housed too much with administrative stuff. So they kind of went in, did an audit, and really said, how can we make more of this available to the public? So like I said, I love reading, and the public library was always a place you could just go and browse. And I know in these times it doesn't feel as much, but I think as we open up and people are vaccinated and you can feel that you can be in public like that, I would highly recommend that we support our public libraries. And it's always been a great resource in the neighborhood. A lot of people that don't have computers or need resources, that was kind of the lifeline in the community. So super excited that that's back online, and everyone should check it out for sure.
I'm a big fan of BPL myself. Shout out to the Eagles, one of their membership and fundraising groups. Little known fact, the Brooklyn Public Library is an entirely different system than the New York City Public Library. So they have separate boards, separate fundraising initiatives, and most people think it's one entire system, but it's in fact two separate. All right, Queen of Queens, what are you excited about in Queens?
So we are taking it back to Northwest Queens again, Chip City, which is a cookie shop. They offer 4 different flavors daily. And since today's Wednesday, our Wednesday's flavor is chocolate chip, s'mores, white chocolate chip macadamia nut, and who said that you cannot have cookies for breakfast? They are offering an everything cookie today, which has a cream cheese filling with everything seasoning on top. So I'm super excited about that. And then, of course,
Decadent.
I'm excited. That's gonna be my.
That could go either way.
Oh my God.
And then of course summer is right around the corner. I have to shout out Mamita's Ices, which is born in Ozone Park, Queens. It's also where I'm from. And they just released 2 new flavors, pina colada and pineapple. So I'm super excited about those flavors. And if you are ready for movie night, next Wednesday, May 19th at 7:30, the New York Hall of Science is hosting a drive-in movie night, and they are showing Pixar Inside Out.
Oh,
Nice.
family favorite. Awesome. Thanks, Theresa.
We could all go together.
That'd be good.
I'm
Great
down.
idea.
I'm down.
Meet you at the drive-in. Team Carte Blanche, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning from Morning Mints, Kings and Queens of Kings and Queens. You guys are awesome.
I got a shout out real quick. Joan Kagan, our colleague, is going to be on IGTV. So make sure you check In the Kitchen with Triple Mint. She has a rock star listing at 254 West 104th Street. It's unit 5A, 4-bed, 3-bath, 3.3 million. And I heard she makes a mean quinoa timboli. So check that out, IGTV at 7 p.m. tonight.
And thank you, Erin, because I neglected something as well, which is next Wednesday's Morning Mint. We will be coming to you live from the Alexandra, a boutique new development condominium in Astoria. Triple
Right.
Mint happens to be the sales and marketing team, and we will show off the beautiful project that is the Alexandra next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I will not be late this time. Thank you so much.
All good.
Thank you for having us.
Morning Mint.
Bye.
Morning, man.